to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As has become our practice, the public announcement was read when we opened the meeting at 6 o'clock, so we'll bypass it now, and we can move right into then public discussion. During the course of the board meeting, the Rockaway Township Board of Education offers members of the public an opportunity to address issues regarding the operation of the Rockaway Township Public Schools. The board reminds those individuals who take this opportunity to identify themselves by name and address and to limit their comments to items listed on the agenda and/or items directly related to the operation of the school district. Issues raised by members of the public may or may not be responded to by the board. All comments will be considered and a response will be forthcoming if and when appropriate. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding students and employees of the board are discouraged and will not be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility, nor will it be liable for any comments made by members of the public. Members of the public should consider their comments in light of the legal rights of those affected or identified in the comments and be aware that they are legally responsible and liable for the comments. May I have a motion, please, to open to the public?
So moved.
Mrs. Brooks?
Second.
Mrs. Jericho? Is there anyone who wishes to address the board from the public? If not, may I have a motion to close to the public?
So moved.
Mrs. Brooks? Mrs. Maluzak. Moving then to communications. Were there any more? I'm sorry.
We received an email this morning from Ms. Spots, an invitation for all the winter concerts at all the schools, and it had gone out to everybody should have received an interview. So that came in this morning after we
Great. That was forwarded to the board today as well. Thank you. Moving on then to approving the minutes. To approve the minutes of November 14, 2018. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Mrs. Brooks? Second. Mrs. Maluzak. Any board discussion on the minutes? If not, may I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Brooks?
Yes.
Mrs. Jericho?
Yes.
Mrs. Hilbert?
Yes.
Mrs. Malusak?
Yes.
Mrs. Mezek?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Salmi?
Yes. Superintendent's report.
Thank you. The Rockaway Township Substance Abuse Alliance will be premiering a documentary on Saturday, December the 1st. The program will be located at Christ Church and will begin at 12:45 p.m. and conclude by 2 p.m. The documentary is focused on the substance abuse education prevention program at Copeland Middle School in Rockaway Township, and it is called Project Positive Choice. We'd ask the public to consider attending, and I've also been informed by the Alliance that just a few days afterwards the documentary will be available on their website. I'd like to thank all who reviewed our 2019-2020 school calendar. Although we received limited replies, it is important that we preview such items with our school community and invite input. It's our intent to preview the 2020-2021 calendar with the intent of approving that second year calendar at our December board meeting. So please be on the watch for that item. The district is preparing to launch its first print newsletter containing news, achievements, and important happenings to share with our community. It's critically important that we share advancements made by our schools and our students with the wider group of Rockaway Township stakeholders so that our educational offerings are seen in a complete and an authentic light, allowing our residents to take justifiable pride in the education they provide to our students. A second newsletter will be created later in the school year, and 4 are planned for the 2019-2020 school year. Distribution will occur through Neighbor News. The final component to the construction of the district's new website will occur on December the 10th, when each teacher in our school district will receive professional development and support in the creation of teacher websites. Upon completion of the teacher websites, we plan to launch the new platform. Once again, the district expresses its appreciation to the many parents who completed our survey to inform the content and features of the new website. In the course of our community forums, a safety-related item concerning outside night lighting was brought to the district's attention. Please be aware that in response, enhanced lighting will be placed at KDM, Birchwood, and the administration building, and we will continue to examine all our schools and facilities for that need. Looking ahead to our December board meeting, we will honor those teachers and staff who have obtained longevity of service and tenure status. And for the special occasion, students from the Copeland Middle School Chorus will be on hand to perform some special selections. Additionally, we are currently planning additional opportunities at future board meetings for our students to share their artistic talents. Future information in that regard will be forthcoming. Tonight, I have the great pleasure of recommending Dr. Township for the permanent position of Assistant Superintendent. So I'm proud to put that before the board and congratulate Dr. Township on that important appointment and look forward to working with him as we move forward. And then finally, although this is not really public comment, I'm going to invite two people who have volunteered to be with us from our character education think tank who would like to share something with the board.
Okay, I'm Megan Barker. I'm a member of the Child Studies Team, the District Child Studies Team. This year I am stationed at DBO at Stony Brook. I'm a member of the Character Ed Think Tank, and those of us on the committee and in the district would like to thank Dr. McLaughlin and Dr. Fabian for bringing this initiative to Rockaway. We all think it's very important, and we're really excited about things to come. Today's meeting, we were actually able to solidify the core values of those of you that participated in the survey. We appreciate that. Community as well. And Ms. Priest is going to tell you what those core values are, and also the acronym that we came up with.
Thank you. So we're very excited. The acronym that we came up with is HEART. So here in Rockaway Township, we'll have HEART. Okay, and it stands for the H represents honesty, the E represents empathy, the A represents acceptance, the R represents respect, and the T is trust. So we all have heart here in Rockaway Township. Okay, so we're very excited to move this forward into our schools. Each person on the committee will go back to their schools, share it with our school committees, and then we'll move it forward within our school building so that we have ownership in our school building. So we'll get to put our own creativity into that and have ownership within each school building. So we can't wait. We can't wait to share, our outcomes later on in the year. Okay, so thank you for having us. Thank you again. Thank you.
We're very excited, and the work of the Character Ed think tank, and it really was so important for you to hear from members of our think tank who have come together and have done this work. It's really moved at a much faster pace than we thought it would, but certainly with very sizable community input. We had over 1,450 replies to our survey. So certainly people knew it was there, they cared about it enough to provide their choices to us, and it really helped the committee today, and they made very, very quick work of putting it together today. So and we're all very excited, and this will also inform some of the applications and some of the work that we're doing in character education as we move along. And that completes my report.
Thank you very much. Moving on to the Business Administrator's report.
Good evening. We received our 2 new 54-passenger buses yesterday, which will be put into service as soon as the interior cameras have been installed. Speaking of cameras, we have received an invitation from Jefferson Township Schools to visit their transportation department and get a look at the workings of their exterior bus cameras, which is something we hope to install on several of our buses which drive in high traffic areas. The Stony Brook HVAC project is nearing completion. All areas are heated. Our received an email from our project manager, and he informed me that the punch list items have been identified, and the contractor should have these items completed within 30 days. At this point, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Joan Bloom and the entire transportation department for their efforts during our unexpected storm 2 weeks ago. They got our students home safely, and they were ready the next morning to come back in until the decision was made to close down for the day. So they worked hard to make sure everybody stayed safe. Thank you.
Any questions for I hate to ask this, but can we have an update on the phone system installation? Where are we?
The phones, the next item that I reported last month is supposed to happen on 12/3.
Okay.
So I'm hopeful. I was in touch as late as about 3 o'clock this afternoon with Amanda, who's managing the entire project. So hopefully we'll have good news to report in December.
Look forward to it. Thank you. Dr. Toomey, your report.
Good evening. I hope everyone enjoyed their Thanksgiving celebration. We have several resolutions on the board agenda tonight that I would like to provide additional information about. As I have shared in previous reports, we are in the process of determining how to redesign our K-5 literacy instructional block across all of our elementary schools, starting with the 2019-2020 school year. One part of this redesign will include a significant rewrite of our K-5 English Language Arts curriculum that will aim to seek board approval before September of 2019. That being said, our current English Language Arts curriculum underwent a rewrite over this past summer of 2018. The curriculum that was rewritten was aligned to New Jersey state standards and encompasses the various resources available within our district. Going forward, we are not able to begin the large curriculum rewrite for September 2019 without first defining our vision for a redesigned English Language Arts instructional block in our elementary schools. Defining this vision is the work of our Literacy Think Tank Committee and is currently being deliberated, and I expect we will be prepared to make recommendations to our board in the coming weeks. In the meantime, we do want to provide our elementary school teachers with an updated ELA curriculum guidance for this current school year. Therefore, we do have a resolution on the board agenda this evening to adopt revised ELA curriculum for just this school year in grade K through 5, with the expectation that we will put forth new ELA curriculum this spring that align not only with New Jersey state standards, but also with a new vision for elementary literacy instruction. A second resolution on the agenda this evening is for the adoption of our 8th grade geometry curriculum. This curriculum was written in conjunction with Morris Hills High School to mirror that of a high school geometry course. The track students filed to be enrolled in 8th grade geometry begins at the end of 5th grade. Our students enrolled in 8th grade geometry were first placed in a 6th grade pre-algebra course, and then they were enrolled in 7th grade algebra. Throughout their middle school math journey, student progress is monitored closely, and eligibility for continuing on this advanced track is verified annually. I would like to thank our math articulator, Teresa Chapman, for her tireless work in designing this course. Her dedication and commitment to this project has been invaluable and much appreciated. A third resolution for consideration is the adoption of our procedures and purposes of instructional council. This adoption recognizes the important work our instructional council does by reviewing and providing feedback on new curricula, serving on school skip committees, and advising about ongoing professional development activities across our district. The instructional council convenes once a month, and as a new leader to our district, I must say, I have found our instructional council to be a valuable partner and a joy to collaborate with. I would like to thank all of those that serve on our instructional council for their commitment and dedication to our community. Next, I would like to preview for the community activities we have planned for our December 5th in-service professional development time. Schools will be dismissed early on December 5th. All Copeland teachers and staff will participate in a whole school activity from 12:30 to 2, led by our Rutgers trainers, where they will learn about the nurtured heart philosophy for building healthy relationships. This philosophy was originally created by Howard Glazer in 1992 and Nurtured Heart is currently being successfully implemented with families, in classrooms, foster care placement sites, and with healthcare professionals and with social workers as a successful early intervention technique for transforming relationships. The Nurtured Heart approach consists of a set of strategies that assist children in further developing their self-regulation and has been found effective with children of all ages. It focuses on transforming the way children perceive themselves, their caregivers, and the world around them. Children learn to understand that they will receive endless amounts of praise, energy, recognition, and reward through the positive behavior they display, and this supports children to build a positive portfolio of themselves, which is called their inner wealth. For our elementary teachers and other staff members, we will be conducting various department level meetings from 1:30 to 3 across the district on December 5th. Our newly appointed grade group facilitators will be leading our grade group meetings, where they will review another science and social studies unit using our living curriculum tool. They will also participate in a make it and take it activity. I would like to acknowledge our 6 grade group facilitators for our successful launch of grade group meetings on November 6th. And I would like to ensure all our teachers that participate in grade group meetings that we thoroughly reviewed your feedback, and we will continue to review your feedback to inform our future planning. So thank you very much for your engagement. Lastly, the Literacy Tank Committee that I referenced in my opening remarks will meet for the 3rd time tomorrow. The majority of this meeting will focus on deliberating a vision for our core literacy instructional block. We will be reviewing sample schedules for how a literacy block could be redesigned for K2 instruction, for K-2 instruction, and for 3 to 5 instruction over the course of a week. I look forward to presenting our recommendations about this matter in the coming weeks. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Any questions for Dr. Tremanian? If not, moving on then to committee reports. Have any committees met since the last board meeting?
I don't have a report, but I just want to verify for the operations committee meeting, we have scheduled for December 2nd at 2:30 board office. That's I better check my calendar. Does everyone else have the 3rd? I'm glad that we checked it. Okay. Is that a Monday? Oh, okay. And I have none for the 3rd. I just wrote it at 2:30. So at 2:30, yes, I don't know if anybody has them. And I did send items for the agenda to all the committee members. And if you have any additional items, just let me know. And we'll make sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on then, recommended for board action, we move on to personnel, which begins on page 4 and ends on page 5. There will be no board discussion. Publicly, all discussion was held in executive session by law. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Mrs. Brooks, second. Mrs. Jericho. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Brooks?
Yes.
Mrs. Jericho?
Yes.
Mrs. Hopper?
Yes.
Mrs. Musa?
Yes.
Mrs. Nezit?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Salmi?
Yes. Moving on to HIB determination, beginning on page 5, ending on page 6. May I have a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Mrs. Jericho and Mrs. Brooks.
We have 2 new investigations that were discussed with the board in executive session. Both are unconfirmed.
Any board discussion? Not? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Brooks?
Yes.
Mrs. Jericho?
Yes.
Mrs. Hopper?
Yes.
Mrs. Musa?
Yes.
Mrs. Nezit?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Salmi?
Yes. Moving on to education, beginning on page 6, ending on page 7. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Mrs. Smith and Mrs. Kelborg in concert, so. Many of the items that Dr. Tremanian spoke of are being approved or voted upon in this section. Is there any board discussion? If not, I can open up to the public, if anybody from the public has a question about the education items. If not, may I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Brooks?
Yes.
Mrs. Jericho?
Yes.
Mrs. Halberg?
Yes.
Mrs. Malusak?
Yes.
Mrs. Mezak?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes. We'll move past the special education since there are no items. Moving on to E, administration, which begins on page 7 and it ends on page 8. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Mrs. Brooks?
Second.
Mrs. Malusak? Board discussion?
Can we possibly move the March 6th meeting into a conflict?
You mean the board meetings?
Yes.
We're not voting on those
Okay.
tonight. Those will be voted on in January, the
Okay,
regular
that's right.
meeting.
All right.
Okay. Not a problem. If not, I can open to the public on any of the items under administration. If not, roll call.
Mrs. Brooks?
Yes.
Mrs. Jericho?
Yes.
Mrs. Halberg?
Yes.
Mrs. Malusak?
Yes.
Mrs. Mezak?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes. Moving on to finance, beginning on page 8. Going to page 9. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Mrs. Brooks?
Second.
And Mrs. Halpern. Are there any questions from the board? The purchase orders were reviewed by Mrs. Charico. If not, I can open it up to the board. I'm sorry, to the public, for anyone who may have a comment about finance. If not, roll call, please.
Mrs. Brooks?
Yes.
Mrs. Jericho?
Yes.
Mrs. Halberg?
Yes.
Mrs. Malusak?
Yes.
Mrs. Mezak?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes. Moving on to policy, starting on page 9, going over to page 10. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Mrs. Brooks?
Second.
Mrs. Malusak? Before we open it up for discussion, there is one typo. It's on number 1. It's P. The second one should be 3263, not 2. I'm sorry, 3363, not 2263. Any board discussion on the policy? Want me to move it over to Mrs. Charico. This is your favorite topic.
It is. First one is live animals, and this was updated, Dr. Lawton wanted to get this in place for the therapy dogs are coming in for the breeding. So that was, some changes that were done on the live animals. The domestic violence policy is mandated by law, and there's also a reg for that that will be done. Those are the ones for the first read. The second read, policies, nothing has changed since the first read at the last meeting.
For those in the public who are new to the meeting, policies have to go through 2 reads before they're approved. The first reading of, you see, number 1 is the first read of those 2 policies. They are online. They're on the agenda prior to a meeting, and you can access those policies for your own purview. After the first read, at the next meeting, there's a second read with any changes made. And if there's no changes after discussion, then we vote on them and they become actually in effect with the vote of the second read. Anyone from the public wish to comment on policy? If not, may I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Brooks?
Yes.
Mrs. Jericho?
Yes.
Mrs. Halberg?
Yes.
Mrs. Malusak?
Yes.
Mrs. Mezak?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes. Moving to old business. Does anyone from the board have old business? Let's try new business. Does anyone from the board? Mrs. Brooks.
I just can't help but notice the ceiling when I'm walking in. I'm slightly distracted, to be completely honest. But
very good.
For this event, there was
All 500, right?
over 100 people in attendance, and this was the outcome after the presentation. And I don't know, I think it's fantastic.
Glad you did. I'm glad you did. Brightens up the whole room. It truly does. So now, if you see me looking like this, you know what I'm looking at.
And your artistic ability is absolutely
Any other new business?
I was also having to be in attendance, and I was very impressed by Records Behavioral Health Counselor and her presentation. Two takeaways I had from that. She mentioned what she will discuss with her clients, or what was your rain today and what was your sunshine, to get them to focus on how nothing is really negative. And then another part of that was what were the 3 positive things that happened, no matter how small. A couple of things that people in the audience had said. There was no traffic today, but they woke up today and pizza. So, it was
Interesting
actually
answers.
very interesting answers. The rest of it was basically how to identify stress and anxiety in your child, changes in behavior, somatic complaints, listening to their words, about learned behavior, how to we as parents manage our stress, boundaries, age-appropriate conversation, don't rush to fix everything, be available. One of her comments was car rides, which usually when they will choose to talk to you, and hopefully it's not an angry car ride. And then things that you would want to do is ask what they need. Do you want advice? Do you need help? Or do you want me to intervene? Or do you want me to just listen? So I thought that it was actually a great presentation. I'm glad that we worked with that.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else? If not, I can open it up to the public should anybody wish to address the board on any item or any concern. If not, I guess it's time to adjourn the meeting. May I have a motion, please, to adjourn the meeting? Mrs. Brooks?